Hi. It's a great day in New York City. And we're going to this is Chaim Malevsky from Chabad on the west side. Running here in Central Park, New York City. Exercising mind, the body, and the soul simultaneously. And I wanted to share a thought I just heard literally in the last 20 minutes. Heard it a few times from the Rebbe to try to internalize it and deliver it appropriately. It's a thought about Purim, since we're just a day away from Purim. And the Midrash says that what Haman tried to do by annihilating the Jews was compared to a bird who was trying to empty the sea with its beak. So there's different versions of the story, but that's the basic idea, that someone sees a bird going and taking water out of the ocean with its beak and asks him, "What are you doing?" Asks it. And the bird says, "Well, I'm trying to empty the ocean." So too the Midrash says that God said to Haman, the wicked, he said, "What you're trying to do is just like a bird trying to empty the ocean with its beak. It's impossible." Moving on, the Rebbe explores and asks, what is that? And how does that explain what Haman was trying to do? What does that mean? And the Rebbe says that the Jewish people are like the water. Every drop is another Jew. And the ocean is our source of life. It's our connection to God. It's our traditions. And Haman was trying to take the Jews out of the water, away from our faith, away from our traditions, put them onto dry land. And Haman, the Rebbe says, was a very smart man. He was second to command in the king. He wasn't a fool. So how could he even think of trying to annihilate the Jewish people when all those before him didn't succeed? So the Rebbe says that what he's trying to do is actually try to separate the water from the ocean, separate the Jew from its source. And here, the Rebbe goes on and says, Haman saw when the Jewish people enjoyed themselves from the feast of the wicked king, Ahasuerus. Key word, as we mentioned in a previous note, enjoyed themselves. It's not like just that they ate non-kosher food, but it was that they actually enjoyed the experience. Says Haman, that was indicative of them separating themselves from the water. They're leaving the ocean. And then Haman goes further and sees that he makes a decree that everybody should bow down to him. And pretty much everybody did except for Mordechai the Jew. But it was only Mordechai the Jew. Shalom Aleichem. We're learning some Torah here, live. So, except for Mordechai the Jew, who was the one who stood up against Haman, but of the others, even unfortunately the Jews, did bow to Haman. So when he saw that disintegration of the values and the faith of the Jewish people, he said, "Oh, I'm separating the water from the ocean. That's how I will be able to annihilate them." And that's what Haman's plan was. But God said, you can't do that. You can't empty the ocean with your little beak, Haman, because even if you separate a Jew from the ocean, they're still my child. They're still connected. The soul still burns, and it's temporary. The separation is always only temporary, and the Jew will return to the ocean. The water will return to its source. And in the story of the Megillah, it says, "Ba'layla hahu," when something sometimes shakes up the world. "Ba'layla hahu," on that night, "Nadid ashnas hamelech." The king couldn't sleep. No one can sleep. The Jew will awaken and return back to his source. And the Rebbe says also, this is really helpful to understand this parable, that the Midrash gives about Haman trying to annihilate the Jews, God forbid, corresponding to the bird trying to empty the ocean with his beak. Another parable is about what happened with Rabbi Akiva. In the times of the Romans, they forbade learning Torah and living a Jewish life. And Rabbi Akiva was asked, why are you continuing to study Torah and to put your life in danger? And Rabbi Akiva answered, said, there's this sly fox that was looking for food along the seashore, along the lakefront, and he sees fish scurrying to and fro, running away from the fisherman's net. And he asks them, hey fish, why are you running around? Why are you chasing your tail? Why are you running so fast? Why so much? And they said, the fisherman's net is here and it's about to catch us. And we have to keep vigilant. We have to keep alive and alert and stay away from it. And the fox said, hey, why don't you just come on to the dry land over here? There's no fisherman's net in the water. No fisherman's net in the dry land. Come out of the water. And the fish replied, fox, you're supposed to be the sly one, the smart one. But how foolish can you be? If in our source of life we're struggling to survive, how much more so in a place that's outside our source of life where we can't survive. And so too, Rabbi Akiva said, while we're learning the Torah and fulfilling the mitzvot, living an observant life, we're still struggling. How much more so we cannot survive if we give it up. And this is what the Rebbe says, that every Jew, we're connected to the water, to the source of life. Atem hadveikim, Hashem Elokechem chaim kol chamayom. We're eternally connected to the source of life. And we should dive into the ocean, into the water, and stay there. And this will ensure our survival and thrival. God bless you. Have a happy life. Share the light. Spread it. Don't keep it to yourself.